Well, Americans on both sides of the immigration debate are trying to figure out what's next for people who are in the U.S. and here illegally. Now that a major change has been announced in the enforcement of deportations on Thursday, the White House and the Department of Homeland Security announced that undocumented workers will now be allowed to stay in the U.S. and apply for work permits as long as they don't have a criminal record. Kris Kobach is a Secretary of State of Kansas, and Raul Reyes is a lawyer and a columnist with USA Today. Raul, I want to start with you because as an immigration rights advocate, you've called this law a terrific step in the right direction. So critics of the new direction say it's amnesty. So lay out both sides for us.
Well, I think it's a good idea because what it is, it's a very incremental step towards a solution to our problem. It allows 300,000 people who are currently in deportation proceedings to go before a judge and have their case reviewed. And that's good because we're prioritizing our law enforcement resources. That makes our community safer. We don't have the time, resources, or the manpower to deport the 11 million people who are already here. The U.S. government, their own statistics say that it costs $12,500 to deport one person. So what we're doing is going after the people who deserve to be deported, drug traffickers, domestic abusers, all sorts of gangsters, and that's where our resources should be going. That's a practical solution. It's incremental, but it's a step in the right direction.
Kris, there's some measurable progress when it comes to the border issue. This is according to stats that are compiled by the Arizona Republic. Border apprehensions are down 36% from the fiscal years of 2008 to 2010, showing fewer crossings. Also at the same time, drug seizures were up 31%, and so far this year, migrant deaths are down 38%, this compared to last year. So isn't this new step a nod to reality and doing what's best for U.S. security?
Well, I don't think so. You have to think about what's best for U.S. jobs. As we heard in the segment before the break, you've got these job fairs. You've got up to 20 million Americans out of work. The last thing you want to do, if this president really does take seriously his commitment to finding jobs for Americans, you don't want to keep illegal aliens illegally in our workforce, taking those jobs that would go to U.S. citizens if they left. And I want to correct one thing Raul said. He said this allows these cases to go forward to an immigration judge. That is absolutely incorrect. What the administration is announcing is that they're going to short-circuit the process, just drop the cases that would have otherwise gone to an immigration judge, and just say, even though we've invested, say, $10,000 in a case of arresting the person, detaining the person, having the preliminary immigration hearings, we're just going to drop the case because we don't think we should enforce our immigration laws anymore. It's a waste of our U.S. federal taxpayer money, and it says to the American workers who are looking for work, hey, too bad, we're going to let the illegal aliens keep these jobs. We're not going to open them up for you.
But you think, Kris, that some of these job fairs would be then hiring people that don't have legal rights to be here in this country? I mean, we're talking about major corporations like Coca-Cola that are at the job fair segment that you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying is there are jobs that are currently occupied, already held by illegal aliens. Estimate somewhere around the 6 to 7 million jobs in America. Those jobs would open up if the illegal aliens would be encouraged to leave or would be deported.
The jobs that are currently occupied by so many of the undocumented immigrants who are here in this country, they're picking strawberries, they're in the agricultural industry, they're at the low end of the service industry, they're cleaning bathrooms, they're janitors. Those are not jobs that Americans are lining up to do. And we've seen that already in the state of Georgia, where they just introduced some very harsh legislation cracking down on the agricultural industry. And the result is that many of their crops are lying fallow in the fields. There's no one to pick them. They have a high turnover, and they're unable to attract workers. So this program, what it does do, it allows people to go before a judge and have their case heard.
No,
and
they don't go before judges.
It's incremental, and it's moving us forward, which is what the American people want. Time and again,
this is the biggest myth.
People have shown in polls that they want some type of path to legalization for the people, the undocumented people who are already here.
Kris, go ahead and respond, please.
The biggest myth in immigration law and in immigration policy making is that these are jobs Americans won't take. In every one of those occupations that Raul mentioned, whether you're talking about cleaning tables, whether you're talking about cleaning hotel rooms or picking fruit in the fields, the majority of workers, over 50% in those areas are U.S. citizens. Illegal aliens are a very large minority percentage, but that shows that U.S. citizens are willing to take those jobs, and the U.S. citizens who need work at these jobs fairs, as we just heard a moment ago, are looking for entry-level jobs. The notion that U.S. citizens are above work is just ridiculous, or above this entry-level manual work is simply incorrect. U.S. citizens are working alongside the illegal aliens in the field. We need to open up the jobs that the illegal aliens are occupying and let U.S. citizens, who, by the way, the U.S. citizens who are disproportionately hurt by this illegal immigration in the workforce are usually minority U.S. citizens. Our most vulnerable people in the workforce who want to be in the workforce are having these jobs taken away from them. And look, if we're serious about jobs, one of the things we can do is get serious about immigration enforcement. And the president has basically said, his administration has said, you know, we're going to drop all immigration deportation cases unless another crime, in addition to the illegal immigration crime, has been committed, which says they don't take seriously the immigration law. They don't think that violation is worthy of enforcing.
Being in this country without documents is not a crime. In most instances, it's a civil violation. So in any case, what the president is doing is trying to inject some reason into the process. If you cross the border, it's a crime. If you overstay a visa, it's a civil violation. People are tired of the fear. They're tired of the rhetoric. They want to move on to practical solutions. He's taking a step towards that. And I see a real danger for people on your side of this discussion by showing that they're against any incremental measure in this debate. It's almost saying that you don't want to be part of the dialogue. You don't want to be part of the solution because things are going to go forward.
This isn't an incremental measure. He's taking 300,000 cases and short-circuiting Congress. It's supposed to be Congress that grants an amnesty, and the president is saying, you know what, we're going to stretch our executive authority, and we're just going to grant a massive amnesty,
this is
in
well
essence,
within his
to these people.
authority under the executive powers.
No, it is not. He's using what is supposed to be a very narrow authority in humanitarian cases to not deport someone. And he's saying, you know what, we're just going to do that for 300,000 or so people if they haven't committed another crime. That is not how the immigration laws are structured. And
well,
I say
by
that
the way these laws are structured under this program, no one is getting a green card. No one is getting amnesty. Nobody's even getting citizenship. What it is doing at the most is
just
suspending deportations. Not even canceling them. It's just a suspension.
All right, gentlemen, I got to Gentlemen, I'm sorry, but
it's not a green card.
It's not a green card. No, it's just a review through the process. Right. We shall see where it goes from here. Kris Kobach, Raul Reyes, thanks, gentlemen, for joining me this morning.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.